Yeah, it's actually just water. Alright, welcome guys to this week's episode, and I'm going to call it Keenan's Conversations, and that's conversations with a K. In today's video, I'm going to be talking to you guys about some of the lessons I've learned in trying to start up a new business. Was it a failure? That's a yes and no answer. Yes, because we didn't really generate as many sales as we had hoped to, but no, in the fact that I learned a ton of lessons that I can apply to my future ventures for things to look out for. And this is the exact reason why I'm making this video. When I started out, I watched tons of videos on, what to do and how to do it, but there wasn't much on what not to do and what to look out for. This is that video that I wish I had when I was starting out, and I hope it helps you guys understand a few of the things that actually go into creating a new product or launching a new brand. And I want to share these stories with you because I think it's very, very valuable information. And these are real experiences. These aren't hypothetical things. I recommend get your little notebooks, get some popcorn, and sit and enjoy the video. So let's begin. What was my business idea? Well, myself and my good friend Matt Cousin, we founded a business called Dropcuts. And Dropcuts existed to develop workflow efficiency products for creative applications. And the first one we designed was for Premiere Pro, called the Base Pack version 1. The main goal with the Base Pack was to help creatives work faster and edit smarter, and allow them to focus on being creative rather than spending time doing the boring, mundane tasks that, editing has. So why did we create Dropcuts? Why did we create the Base Pack? Well, back in May last year when lockdown was like in full force, I didn't have a job and not many people had a job. And I was scrolling through Instagram and I just saw a ton of, large creators releasing preset bundles, LUT packs, all of those things, and just saw these guys just generating a ton of money. I saw this and I was like, you know what? I actually don't have a secondary income stream. My only income stream is from video, and that's completely stopped now. So I'd like to develop something like this too. But the issue with that was that these big creators who were launching these LUT packs and preset packs, I have nothing against those by the way, that they had loads of followers and people would buy these LUT packs because they want to emulate the styles of the creators that they look up to. And me as a relatively small creator, I don't really have that many people who look up to me for my style to buy from me. So I was like, I'm a little bit stuck here. I also didn't want to create a product that made everyone's videos look exactly the same. And that is the exact reason why we created the Base Pack, something that assists your editing workflow without ever compromising on your individual style. So lesson 1 was not analyzing my product and my target market enough. I already knew that the product wouldn't sell as well as a LUT pack, for example, but I didn't really expect it to be as bad as it actually was. Whilst it was a great product, there was no immediate way for me to show potential buyers a before and after or the immediate results that they'll get. When you compare it to, say, an ad for a LUT pack, you immediately see the results that you get and you're like, if my photos are gonna look like that, I want it. That's exactly what I want. It just made it really hard for me to place the product in front of an audience for people to buy it. The ad was really good, but it didn't really trigger that thought in people's mind, like, I want this is what I need. And I think that's where we went wrong, especially for our first kind of flagship launch product. So not being able to generate enough sales means we weren't able to cover the cost of the ads team and the ad spend. To be completely open, since the launch on December the 9th, we've sold just over 100 packs. They retailed at $39 US, but with discounts, I think we received about $29 to $27 per pack. And overall, this has generated just over $3,000. I've got my notes here to read the exact figures, but with the cost of the ads team and ad spend and location rental for the tutorial video, I've spent exactly $9,461.26. When you compare that $9,000 or just under $10,000 to the $3,000 that we've generated, we've made back less than 30% of what we put in, which is not good. The first lesson from this point is to make sure that if you are releasing a new product and you are a new brand, make sure that the first product you release is an absolute hit and it's what people want. Sometimes you're gonna have to play the game, whether it be like a LUT pack or whatever, but you really need to gain a position in the market and show people that you are worth buying from. Release something that people are gonna go absolutely crazy for, and then you can release something like the Base Pack, which may not be as high, but because people trust you, they know your brand, they're more likely to buy from you. Lesson 2 is don't try to be completely original and don't try to do everything yourself. So me being me and kind of a perfectionist, I love trying my hand at everything. I love doing everything myself because it means I can build it to the exact specifications that I want. And if something goes wrong, I don't have to blame anyone or I don't have to talk to someone to try and figure it out. And if I do something wrong, then it's up to me to sort it out. So I decided to build the website myself from scratch from a blank canvas. I didn't use Squarespace or Wix or Shopify. I built it on Webflow, which is basically like a visual coding platform. The issue is I had no prior web design knowledge, no UI, UX experience, like none of that. So I had to spend 6 months learning how to build a website, learning from scratch, the building blocks of a website. And it was just like a massive ball ache and a massive waste of my time. And whilst I, learn basics of web design and I kind of know what I'm doing now, when you think of it in the grand scheme of things about the amount of money that we generated and the amount of time that I spent on the website, it just really wasn't worth it. Sites like Shopify, these places exist to make your life a lot easier. And the next thing I want to talk about is e-commerce. And if you're launching a brand, seriously consider using a site like this rather than building it yourself. I used the Webflow e-commerce platform to sell my product. Issue with that was I had to set up the kind of checkout process myself, and there was a lot of problems with kind of people purchasing and even me testing it. There'd be glitches with the payment providers, and yeah, it was just a lot of work. I would recommend building a nice landing page, and sometimes that requires like custom features, but I would seriously consider using a service like Shopify to build out your e-commerce platform in the beginning stages. And the reason I say this is you need to test the market and see if your product works. So the more time you spend on making a website, and then if the product flops, you're gonna feel really kind of like shit inside. You just put yourself in a bad situation. If your product doesn't work, scrap it. If it does work, then great, you've generated a ton of income from that product. Then you can use that revenue to pay a developer to build a better website for you, or fund your own time to learn how to build a website. Don't do it like me where we did it completely backwards. And the last lesson is get a good marketing team. And when I say get a good marketing team, I mean get a good marketing team. If you are a brand, an individual, if you want to promote your product and generate more sales, you need to be utilizing Facebook advertising. If you are, an individual, someone like me who is starting a brand, you want to use Facebook advertising, you want to do ads, I recommend you have at least £7,500 to £10,000 worth of capital to dedicate to an ads team and ad spend. You also have to be willing to lose this money and let it go down the drain just in case your product doesn't go well. Now, I'm personally not sure about the going rates for social media marketing agencies. Some charge monthly, so you got to pay them a monthly fee. Some charge by percentage, which is a percentage of how much revenue that the ads generate. And some I think are a mix of both. The ads team that I hired, I had to pay monthly. I personally had a very, very bad experience with my ads team. This just came up with a lot of lessons that I should look out for in the future. For us, our marketing agency charged us £1,350 a month. That's just for them to run the ads. And then they also recommended that I spend at least £2,000 for ad spend per month. And this was like the minimum. They were like, this should be the minimum for the testing phase. I trusted them, I gathered they knew what they were doing. So I went with it and I said, yes, let's go. Little did I know, I was in for a very, very rough ride. So sub point 1 of this point is make sure you set up your Facebook Business Manager and your Facebook Pixel correctly. So I assumed when I'd hire an ads team that they would set up a Facebook Pixel and a Business Manager for me, but for our situation, that wasn't the case. As we didn't have a developer to do it, I had to do it all myself. And this resulted in me creating the Facebook Pixel on the wrong Facebook Business Manager account. I'm not gonna go too much into detail because there's a ton of videos on this already, but I created the Facebook Pixel on my personal ad account, which meant that I can't transfer the data that's captured from this Facebook Pixel to the Dropcuts Business Manager account. I don't know how I created the Pixel on the wrong account, but that was implemented onto the site for the warm launch where we launched the product to people following my own Instagram page, Matt's Instagram page, Dropcuts, and we gathered, quite a lot of data on the people that were buying from us. When it came to actually starting up the ads a few days later, the Pixel wasn't on the right account, so we couldn't transfer the data, which meant we had to start off completely completely from scratch again, and I had to spend more money in testing the market and seeing what kind of customer would buy from us. So this was completely my fault for not really looking into it properly, but I wouldn't recommend, if you are getting a marketing team, to see if they do it for you or if you have to set it up yourself, because it's a little bit complicated. There's a lot going on in there, and this shows you that there can be mistakes made. We had to spend more money in testing when we actually already had the data. It's just unfortunate that we couldn't transfer it. Second sub point is, does your ads team understand you and your product and your business? This is a key to having a good relationship with your ads team. Do they understand your product and what it's about? And do they communicate with you well? And do they seem interested in working with you? Because otherwise, if they're not interested in you, they're not interested in your product, they're just there for the money. In our case, they didn't really have a good idea or grasp on our product and what the brand existed for. And this resulted in a ton of grammatical errors in our ad copy, spelling errors, unprofessional call to action buttons. It just wasn't very professional and a good experience for me. Just to be clear, me and Matt created the ads ourselves, but we sent them off to the ads team who would write the captions and everything for us and, you know, sort out the targeting. And I had to message them and say, guys, I need you to send me these captions before they go live because they are not brand aligned. So this led me to actually having to go into Facebook Business Manager myself to change the captions, which is something I shouldn't have to do because I'm paying the ads team to do it. And this leads me on to point three, communication. Your ads team needs to be honest and update you with everything that goes on with your ads, whether your ads are failing or doing well. They need to be clear with you because at the end of the day, they're spending your money and you deserve to know what's going on and how your money is being spent. The issue with us was that our ads team were 4 hours ahead in another country. I'm not going to share any names or locations because that's not right, but it meant it was super hard to get a hold of them. I'd send a message hoping for a reply pretty quickly, but they'd take 1 to 2 days to respond. And this is not something you'd expect of an ads team that you're paying over $1,000 for a month. I actually hate this camera sometimes. You know when you press the end record button and it starts the recording and you're like, oh. Yeah. Secondly, my Facebook ad account got disabled. And I don't just mean just one individual business manager account. I meant the whole ad account got disabled, which means I can't even advertise on my own Instagram account anymore. To this day, I still don't have any idea what the actual reason for Facebook banning my account, but relating it to the ads team, I actually had to go into Business Manager to find out that the account was disabled. I had to message the team and say, you know, what's going on? Why haven't you told me about this? And they said, oh yeah, sorry, we've been working on it all day today and last night trying to get it sorted. So my account had been disabled for over a day and no one had let me know. The point to take from this is to ask your marketing team or whoever you're going for, how do you deal with banned Facebook accounts? How do you sort it out? Knowing that your team has a kind of backup plan to sort it out is going to give you a peace of mind. And thirdly, your ads team should understand Facebook's policies through and through. And by this, I mean the ad policies, because Facebook can just ban your ads if they don't comply with their rules. A good ads team will watch a video and go through and say, you know what, this part might not be compliant, so I recommend you change it to this word, rather than just taking your video, not even watching it and just uploading it. For us, that could have been the reason why our Facebook account got banned. A good team should advise you on how your ads are doing and what could be done to make it better, and also advise you on, you know, your website landing page. Like they could say, this is going to be better. And I say this because a good ads team should have you in their best interest. So what can you take from this whole point about a marketing team? Jump on call with quite a lot of teams and make informed decisions about who is like interested in you, in your product, who understands you, who seems like they'd actually communicate with you well. Giving these people your money, so you need to make sure that they are doing the best job as they can. I would highly recommend going for an ads team. I'm not sure if they're out there, but if possible, an ads team that takes a percentage of their earnings through a percentage of sales that generated from your ads. It means that when your ads do better, they do better. So it kind of goes hand in hand. If you work harder, you produce better ads, you make more money and they make more money. It also likely means that they'll work harder in kind of communicating with you and making sure your brand does as well as it can, because their earnings are based on your performance. As with us, we had a team that we had to pay monthly, which meant that if our ads did really badly or even did really well, it wouldn't matter about the performance of those. They would get a set amount per month. And this can just lead to complications down the line if, you know, they decide to not be very responsive and all of that. You're just going to be in more stress because you want them to work better. So just make sure you get a good ads team, please. There's a lot out there now and many of them are just out there for their own gain and don't really care who they work with. So they are the main 3 lessons I've learned in trying to build a business: analyzing your product and your market thoroughly. Don't try to be completely original and do everything yourself, because there are platforms out there that are designed to do this for you. And then lastly, get yourself a good marketing team. I have waffled a lot in this video, so I'm going to end it here. But if you enjoyed it, give the video a big old like and subscribe if you want to, you know, see more of me. But anyway, I'll catch you guys next Monday in the next video. Until then,
Blazing on the track,
peace.
boy.